those that are joining us for the very first time, it's a contemporary Christian talk show where we get to talk about all kinds of issues, the things that we deal with on a daily basis. And these issues affect our lives. And these issues can help us succeed in our work as Christians or fail. Because, at the end of the day, the goal for us as Christians, as children of God, is to make it to heaven. But it's not just a straight walk. There are many things to do. There are choices to be made. There are decisions to be made. And the Bible tells us that in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. And so that's the premise for Let's Talk About It with Flaky. It's about people coming together to help each other, to listen to each other, to get from each other, to share. We have testimonies about people that have, been on it for many years. And we keep praying for a bigger reach so that this word can go out. Because like I always say, people that have less serious messages, they have a bigger reach, than we do. And we're like, God, we need help with this. We need help with this because we know that we have something to share that will benefit people of all ages, of all tribes, all tongues, and all sexes. Both sexes, both sexes. All right. Okay, so today, choices and consequences. Do you think you've ever made a choice that you regret? I want us to go there, right there in the chat, and say, do you think you've ever made a choice and say, I made a choice that I regretted? Anybody? I know I have. Have you ever made a choice and you look back and you say, no, that wasn't a good choice? I definitely have made a choice. I've made choices and I'm like, It doesn't mean that they are life-altering choices, but they're choices that you have made. And then are there some that are life-altering or there's some that are more impactful than the regular? Let's do that in the chat. This is Let's Talk About It. We like to share. We like to hear. Good day, Mark. Thank you so much for being here. Yes. So I'm looking. Have you made a choice? Have you ever made a choice? Have you ever picked an option above other options and regretted it? Have you? Are you thinking about it? We're talking about consequences today. And I said it's the aftermath, it's the result of making a choice. And we also define what the choice is, speaking one thing over another thing or over many others. So have you ever made a choice that you regretted? Let's start from there. We're waiting. Nobody said anything. I already said mine. I know I did. I know I have. I know that maybe even a few days ago I did. I didn't want to, eat something. I shouldn't have, eaten it a few days ago, maybe a week ago. And I was like, this was indulgent. This was not even right, but I did. It was a choice that I regretted because it spoiled what I was trying to do. So at times it might not be a choice that would just, be so glaring or alter your life in a way that you think, oh, what is it? That you might even notice immediately. But the reason why I knew that was because I had made a promise not to do certain things to myself, made that promise and then I went back on it because something else happened. And I ate it and I'm like, oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay, some of us are the Daniel fast. That's not even, we hadn't started the Daniel fast when that happened, so I was still clear. Some of us are the Daniel fast with my youth right now, and we've made certain choices, like we've said we're not going to eat certain things. So it means that our diet is currently restricted. Maybe somebody has broken that. But no. So it means that they've made a choice that you're like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have done that. So I'm asking, it could be any kind of choice. Any kind of choice. Did you go somewhere you should not have gone? Did you say something you shouldn't have said? Did you do something that you should not have done? This is Let's Talk About It with Flaky. We don't hide here. We just say it. Please, share. Because we're going to be calling on you at some point. And then when it's time, everybody will now say, oh, I have to share, I have to share. We only have a couple of, not even a couple of hours. We have less than 2 hours to be able to do this, definitely. So the sooner and the quicker we do this, the better for us so that we can have an amazing conversation. Because today, I actually have a letter, and I have a scenario that we switched around. Anytime we share stories and we share situations, we always make sure that we switch them around in a way that those that are involved, their privacy is maintained. Their privacy is respected. We always do that, and people know that about us. So you're never going to share something with us, and then you're going to see it's full screen, and you're like, no. But there are times that we have shared situations, and somebody totally different will walk up to me and say, honestly, if I had met you before and told you this, then I would have thought that was my life you're talking about. So if that happens to you, please just know that we did not. It's something that happened to somebody else. It's just similar to yours, and it means that the Bible is correct. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. Okay. All right. I hear that the recording has stopped. Is there a reason? Are we okay? Can we continue? Can I keep speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, since nobody's willing to share yet, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep talking about.
We have a hand up, ma.
Oh, a hand up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought they're just gonna put it in the chat. All right. Okay. Let's get that person.
Do you want them to put it in the chat, or can we unmute?
I'm gonna put it in the well, since this is the first person, we'll let this person speak, and then everybody else put it in the chat until it's time to speak again.
Okay, I think the hand is down already, so I guess you can continue.
What is the hand down? It's okay to share, please. Choices and consequences. That is what today is about. We make choices every day. Some of them are emotional, some of them are more logical, some of them we make them so quickly. You want to go and pick your children from school, you know that there's a time to pick them. You just go about it, but that's the choice. Some people abandon their children in school or they forget. That's the choice as well. Okay, so that's that. We also have to realize that all these choices they've been, worked on our brains. Our brains work consistently. Just don't feel it cranking. But that cranking is going on. The cranking is going on. All the choices you're making, the brain is making those connections, and the cranking is going on there. Okay, so we make all kinds of choices daily. I already told you the statistics shows that you and I we make about 35,000 choices daily. But of these 35,000 choices, guess how many are actually deliberate? About 200. I didn't even realize that I made 200 choices in a day. I'm to talk about telling you that 200 of the choices I make are deliberate. I didn't realize that. I did not realize that at all. But it's very interesting. Preparing for this, I've learned so much too. And I think it's helping me to be more guided somehow, like, is that a choice or was that just pushed on me? I said also that at times you make a choice for yourself or you make a choice because of people. However it is, you've made a choice. And then we have choices that go well, and we have choices that go the other way. Most times, when we hear consequences, the first thing that comes to our mind is something bad. It's not always so. When you say consequences, no. It's somehow bad situations resonates, in the mind, and it comes to us like, oh, the consequence of this. And maybe it's from childhood for many of us. When your parents tell you that if you don't do this, there'll be a consequence, or your teachers tell you, or the school says something. So when we hear the word consequence, or we hear consequences, first thing that comes to our mind is punishments. Punishment for not doing something correctly. So when you say choices and consequences, we always think it's wrong. Okay. All right. So we have a question, or comment. Carol, can you read that to us, please? So that before I start sharing the stories and the letters.
Yes, ma. So the question is from Mr. Babatunde Irukara says, so my question is whether we have a scale on regrets. For me, I make big and small
Sorry, I didn't
decisions.
hear you.
So my question is whether we have a scale on regrets. For me, I make big and small decisions and choices almost every day, and benefits of hindsight or outcomes make me realize it was the wrong choice in the circumstance. Some are of greater significance or magnitude, and some are not, that consequences or outcomes have occurred or even occur. Just that within me, I feel or know the choice I made was or is wrong.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that with us. Kind of taking us to your own thought process. Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, ma. So we have Titi Lola said, I know I am I know I am lactose intolerant, but I choose to eat ice cream. 2 days ago, I suffered well for it.
And that happens. I have a friend who's lactose intolerant too. And she always says to me, she say, I'm going to bear it. I'll just bear it because ice cream tastes good. So maybe lactose intolerant people actually don't know how to deal with that. They taste in the mouth. It's kind of worth the pain and the hassles that they go through. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Or should we are we good now?
Yes, ma.
All right. Thank you so much, Babatunde and Titi Lola. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. I know we're going to get many more thoughts. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is jump straight into our first scenario. And I call them scenarios so that nobody starts thinking, person that hangs out around Oluke or Mabel, is that the person? Is it what happened to them? You're never going to find out. So this is it. And I want you to think about it. The reason why we share this is that many times it mirrors what is going on in our own lives, directly or indirectly. And it also prepares us at times for what can happen. It also gives us the place to be able to counsel somebody who is on the call or who is going to watch it later that's in a similar situation. Once again, it says, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. And I know that today is not going to be an exception. So this is it. The first one. See, at 35, Dapo was a senior risk manager at the top bank in Victoria Island, Lagos. He was raised in a strict, prayerful, and very playful. He was raised in a strict, prayerful Baptist home in Lagos. He felt the heavy pressure of his mother's weekly phone calls. And mommy would call and she would say that, well, choose a wife, choose a builder, not a consumer. All these girls hanging around you, make a choice, make a choice. Time is not a friend to anybody. Time is flying. And he would always get these calls from mommy. They say, beauty fades, but the peace of a home lasts forever. Choose wisely. And at that time, Dapo was he was not seeing them, but he was hanging around three ladies. Maybe he was seeing them, I don't know. But he was hanging around three ladies that he was thinking about. So let's meet the first one. First person is Eniola. So Eniola, this brilliant financial analyst. She had her own car. She lived in a small apartment. She dressed elegantly. She was part of the youth group in the church, in the drama team specifically. And she had a lot of energy, very contagious energy. Eniola was deeply committed to God, deeply committed to God, intellectually engaging, like he described her. And she got along with Dapo's parents. I think that Dapo made sure that all the three ladies got to meet his father and mother and siblings at one point or the other. You know, so he said she got along well, very, very well with his parents. And she was very strict. He said, but she was very strict with the boundaries that she had set regarding physical intimacy and lifestyle choices. Okay, so that's Eniola. We got to meet Eniola, that's who she is. And then there was Sandra, he calls her Sandy. And Sandy was a corporate lawyer. very brilliant, very smart. She viewed marriage as something to attain, or more of a partnership. And so she was looking for someone that would be a partner in her relationship that she called marriage. No, it's marriage, it's a partnership. That was what she wanted, a partnership. And so that will feel, no, that will know the bill. It's the bill. And I would like her as well. Said her mind was fixated on going to Canada. She had an amazing job here, but she just wanted to go to Canada. She felt, you know what, I will do better in Canada, even as a lawyer. Okay. She openly dismissed that was, desire to stay in Nigeria. She was okay with his parents, but she was not supportive of him financially helping them financially. For her, faith and family were things that you have to deal with on a day, as it happens. So it's not that she had set rules, that's how it was for her. And whatever it was, whether faith or family, nothing could come in the way of her career. Career progression was very, very important to Sandy. And then the final person is Shade. Shade was a rising, she is a rising fashion stylist and she's a social media influencer. She has great following. Her background actually was in law. She was a lawyer. She studied law, but she's not practicing law anymore. And she's, into high fashion, lived a high-end life. She loved the corporativeness. And whenever Dapo went out with her, of all the three ladies, that was the person he got the most amount of compliments from his friends from. His friends would always say, that's good comments about her. Of all the three ladies, because if you went out with any of them, Shade was the one that gave him the most accolades. That was like a trophy. So he really liked that. I know. She attended church with him. It was okay for her. But as far as she was concerned, if they got married, they needed to change his church because his church was too loud for her. And that she had a brand to protect. She didn't like the fact that in his church, people would lose themselves in the spirit. I don't know what church that is, but they would lose themselves in the spirit and they would roll on the floor. She thought that was not cool. That was not Shade. She did not want that. But that was how, that was the church that Dapo attended. And so she would attend church with him, but she would always tell him that, look, if we get married, we're going to change church. I'll go to church and all. Fine. She got along with the parents, but the mother always felt that she was not true. The mother felt that she was pandering to them one way or the other, but Dapo's father thought she was okay and that it was just a generational gap thing. Okay? All right. So Dapo has these three girls in his life, or he had, because he didn't make a choice. So he had these three girls in his life, and he felt a strong pull, his description, towards Eniola's sharp mind, her vibrant energy, but felt restricted by her godly standards. He wanted a partner that he could enjoy worldly prestige with. And it seemed as if Eniola was not as driven. Okay? So for Sandra, he felt that Sandra was not going to fit because Sandra just wanted to leave the country, and it was very important to her that she just left. So Sandra came off the charts. He wasn't considering Sandra anymore, and that brought it down to Shade. Shade was brilliant. She was smart, beautiful. He got most compliments, and she seemed to fit his vibe. With regards to changing the church, he was ready to change church so that he could find a place that he both, worship. As far as he was concerned, the most important thing was that at least they were going to church and they raised the children in the church. And so, at the end of the day, he did pick Shade. So he picked Shade, and he had a beautiful proposal. They had the amazing wedding. It was beautiful and all. And they were now coming into it. And he said, that 6 months into their marriage, his corporate bonuses were slashed because the bank was experiencing, you know, internal recession, is what he described it as. And so he suggested to them about, so that since we're a young family, let's, cut down on our luxury spendings and our going out and the dinners. But Shade scoffed at him and said, I'm a brand. Said that I'm a brand. I'm a brand. And you know that. I'm not going to lower my standards. I'm a brand, and that is who I am. Every time he's tried to speak to her, that was what she came up with. I'm a brand that will figure it out. And he tried to figure it out, but he was taking most of it because she wasn't moving. She was not moving. Everything that needed to be changed was changed only if it had to do with his finance or his own expenses. She wasn't about to let go of anything. One of the things that hurt him the most was that as soon as they got married, Shade stopped visiting his parents. Suddenly, he would never go there. She would not go see them. And when she went there with him, she was always acting like there's something wrong. She didn't like that. She just didn't like to be with them. And if he complained, you're not loosening up, you're not, like, you say, look, I'm a brand. I don't know when I do these things. It's just what I have to do. The brand thing always came up. And so one day he said he was stuck in traffic in Lagos. He had let go of his driver because he couldn't afford to pay the driver because he wanted to make sure that things were going well at home. And so he told Shade, who still had the driver, to please rush down to his mom. The mother had been admitted in hospital. And so the father had called and said, please go. And Shade said to him that, look, I have a brand launch tonight on the island. Your parents are on the mainland. Your siblings can take care of her. I'll go and see her tomorrow. And I think for him, when we had the conversation, that was like a breaking point for him. He just sat there in the third mainland, the grid. You know how when third mainland gets jammed, and he just sat there and said he just wept. And he kept remembering Eniola and saying, I think Eniola would have done better. So Dako calls a friend, that passed, and then a few days or weeks later, he said, I called a friend and just lamenting to the friend and saying, that it's 2 years into this marriage. Shade has refused to get pregnant because she's a brand. And she says that we need to wait 5 years. And his friend asked him, said, didn't you discuss these things before? He said, yes. And she said, we'll have children. So I didn't bother thinking about the number of years. But I'm thinking, why are we going to wait 5 years to have a child if we don't have a medical condition? But that was her. She was a brand and she wanted to keep that. She did not want anything that would upset the brand. And for Dako, that was a lot. I want to have children. And then the relationship with the parents. So we're talking about choices and consequences. So his friend asked him and said, so why did you pick Shade? Why didn't you pick Eniola? Because you keep comparing her to Eniola now. He said Eniola was too safe. He said Eniola was too safe. That she just seemed to check all the boxes, so much so that he felt that she was going to be boring, even though he knew that she was energetic and vibrant. He just felt that he needed more. And so now he was stuck with his mom. So that's it. So we're talking about choices and consequences. What are you thinking about? What are your thoughts towards Dako? What can he do now? He does not believe in divorce. He believes that he can wait this out. But at the same time, 2 years has passed and he's thinking, maybe now I'll consider it. He doesn't know for sure. His friend that was with him when we had this conversation was like, I think you just stay there. And he just stay in the marriage because one way or the other, you're still benefiting from Shade's connections as well. Because in the 2 years now, the bank where he was working and had issues, but they were still living, a steady lifestyle that was okay for Dapo as well. But Dapo was was not happy because of they're not having children, and his church activities had diminished because they changed to a different service, a different church, and he wasn't getting the fulfillments that he had in his first, where the church that he used to attend before he married Shade. He had all this back and forth conversations, with a friend while we were together, and I said, okay, let's put it out here. What are your thoughts? Somebody's making a choice here, and he's made the choice, but there are consequences. What are you thinking about? How can think about it, and don't just restrict it to Dapo and Eniola, Shade, and Sandra. Just let's talk generally. What should we be looking at when we're making this kind of lifetime choices, this kind of life altering? Because every choice that we make, and that's reality. I'm here today. I'm this person. Whatever the positive and negatives are, it's because of the choices I have made. That's reality. The choices you have made is what has gotten you to where you are. At times, some choices are forced on us, but most of the choices that we make is because we have voluntarily walked into it. So that was asking, what should he do? Wasn't he thinking straight? Was he wrong to have thought the way he did? What's on your mind with regards to that? What should he do? And then Shade, I don't know whether Shade even watches Let's Talk About It, to be real. I don't know, but she's there. She's married to him, but she's a brand. That's more important to her than anything else, being that brand. Do you know anybody like this? Is there somebody that you want to talk to directly or indirectly regarding this kind of choice? Or is it kind of choice that you made as well and you're wondering about it? What can you say to them? What can you advise? What is your thoughts concerning them? We don't want you to write it in the box. We want you to unmute and speak. And we also want you to share your own experiences. So what do we need to think about when we're making a choice? What are the key things that we need to think about when making a choice? What can guide us? How can we be guided? Also, the good book, the book that has good news, the Bible. You hear God saying, his prophet saying, choose. Say, choose this day who you serve. Say, choose life. Like that. So it means that we have, one way or the other, we have to make a choice all the time. We're bringing it back to Dapo. I have a question. Should I go ahead with the second scenario? It's a letter that was written to me. That was almost a conversation that we put together at the end of the day. But this person wrote, should I read that, or should we finish with Dapo first before going to the second person? What do you think? Those on YouTube, we would love to hear from you, please. Don't stay there. Don't just be there and just watch. We need to learn from each other. We need to care from each other. There's so much. And while you're at this right now, send a message to a friend and tell them there's something exciting going on here. There's something exciting going on here. Are there lessons to be learned? Are there things to be unlearned? Are there things that we need to work on? Please send a message out to somebody and then you yourself think about it. So I'm asking that question one more time. Should I go ahead with the letter that was written to me? Or should we start with Dapo, Shade, Eniola, and Sandra? You have a choice to help me make. Make a choice. Let's talk about it. Please don't be quiet. Don't be quiet. Don't be quiet. Say, I made a choice many years ago, but I live with a consequence despite the fact that I was very sorry. Okay. So, all right. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you. Is that from, who's that? Is that,
Yes.
that's Claire, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's clear. All right. Thank you so much, Claire. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I see that. I've asked a question. I've shared about Dapo. So I'm just going to name it Dapo, okay? And it's something that he needs counsel. And not only needing counsel, how did he get to the point that he is? How can we help other people avoid that? What are the things that we need to think about when we're making choices? What are the things that that do not work that we all know? You know, maybe say I'm certain that that cannot work. I don't know anything like that though, because at times you would think I've the craziest things and it would work one way or the other for those people. You know, one way or the other. All right. But the question I'm asking now is, I have a second scenario to share, but this is a letter from somebody. So should I share that now, or should we talk about Shade and Dapo and Eniola and Sandra first? It says SWOT analysis. I like that. SWOT analysis. So for every decision, clients they do the SWOT analysis, which is like check out what are the strengths of this choice. So even in our everyday lives, you know, this kind of lifetime, especially serious stresses like this, what are the strengths here? What are the weaknesses, the threats and the opportunities, right? Say analyze it like that. I never thought about marriage like that. SWOT analysis about marriage. Hmm. Okay, that's from business school, but I guess it can translate into marriage because it's a decision. You have to make a choice. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. I had never seen it put in that context. I've never seen that. Okay, all right. Thank you. Anybody else? We're so few on the call today, so I really need you to speak up. Okay, so I'm going to have Carol reading the messages now. All right, so Carol, can you read the message? But we want to hear your voice. We want to hear your voice. Just having me speak continuously, that's not what it is. Let's talk about it. It's about sharing, hearing your voice, hearing my voice, hearing all the voices. That's what we like to do. We don't want to just keep putting things in the chat. So no, nothing, don't unless you're not in a quiet place or in a place where you can speak would really want to hear your voice. It puts character to it as well and helps us. But in the interim, Carol, please can you get the messages on the chat? And those on YouTube, it's Mrs. Okmala on the call. If she is, she can help us check YouTube and see whether we have any messages there. All right, over to you, Carol.
Adeola says, it's very important that we consider the implication of our actions. It affects on us and on the people concerned. It is also fair to everyone concerned. Then Adewale says, for me, the question my pastor put to me that time was, can you carry her cross? Meaning, Sheolegbe Erue. This made me think and pray more before making the decision. That's
Can you carry her cross? So can you carry his cross? Can you carry her cross? So when you're making a choice, you have to ask, can you carry the cross? So like that for now, can you carry the brand cross? Can you carry that Lola Queen? Thank you so much. No comments on YouTube. YouTubers, we need to hear from you. We need to hear from you. This conversation cannot be one-sided. I can't be the only one speaking. I don't have knowledge. I'm getting from everybody. The wisdom. It's a multitude of counselors, there's safety. It's not say in the presence of flaky, there's safety. Not at all. I don't have the answers, so I'm getting from everybody. All right. But I'm going back to Adiola. Adiola said some. Carol, can you read that again?
Yes, ma. It is very important.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It is very important that we consider the implication of our actions, its effect on us and on the people concerned. It is also fair to everyone concerned.
Okay. All right. So I hear you, Tiola, but guess what? How is it possible that I don't think it's possible that a choice will be fair to every single person concerned. So I want you to unmute and explain, because I really don't know how every choice, because it's not every time that everybody that's involved in it, we think it's fair to them. I doubt, I'm stuttering because I'm thinking about what scenario would I say is fair to everybody concerned. I'm not sure, so I would really like to hear more about that. And then with regards to Dapo, how does that apply? Deola, if you can unmute, I would really like to hear. And I know that it's not just me, it's other people would like to hear as well. And before she does that, or while she's unmuting, we want to hear comments from other people. Let's not leave Dapo hanging. Dapo is in a sort of a cliffhanger right now. Should he get out of his marriage? Should he not? Should he stay? What should he have done better? Now he's thinking about Eniola, and yes, Eniola is married now. Eniola is married, and according to that, she married a correct guy. She married a correct guy. That's what that was said. She married a correct guy. So, so there's nothing like Eniola coming into the picture. I'm just sharing that so that you're clear. So that you're clear that Eniola is not even in the picture any which way. She's married and said she married a correct guy. That's how he put it. Meaning that she married someone that even he admits that is a good person to her, and they seem, good because he sees her around. Nobody, nothing. Let's talk about it. It's serious. We want you to unmute, please, and speak. I don't want to keep going there.
Hello,
But
ma.
Carol, as the message is coming, just go ahead. Yeah? There's a
Sorry,
message
ma.
there. Yes, please.
While we're waiting for hands and messages, I just
Yes.
want to chip in something, ma. When we're speaking about choices and consequences, because it's this comment now from this Adewale Ibrahim that wants to make me say something. I was discussing with some people during the week. The situation, particularly in this part of Europe, has been really, really tensed. So we have people going back home to Africa, and while the situation is not really, really okay, and some people are feeling bad about it. So I came across some people during the week, and so I was asking them, where are you going back to? So the person did not want to say, actually. So she was very reluctant. Eventually she now said it. And when she said she was moving back to western part of Africa, so the way she said it, I was like, there's nothing wrong in that. According to her, she talked to so many people about it and the way they made her feel. So she felt like she's just gonna keep it to herself or not tell anyone. And I look at her and I was like, you know what? This is one thing. What makes us human beings is the ability to make a decision and stick to it, regardless of what anybody says. It's important. Moving to Europe 3 years ago taught me something, Auntie. It is back at home. You think about what anybody is thinking about you. Yeah, nobody sees you. Nobody gives a damn about anything that you do. So I just want to put it out there that the ability for you to make any decision whatsoever that comes after it. Remember, Yoruba will always say something, "Abanida or Gimbanide," like people can only advise you.
Interpret that. Interpret.
Like people can tell you what to do, but when the consequences come, you will be the only one facing it. You will be the only one
Very
facing
true.
it.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah, marry this, don't marry this. You will
That's
be
true.
the one in that marriage, not the other person who is telling you what to do. So the most important thing is that whenever you want to make any decision, I think one of my favorite auntie Buki is here. We talk so much, and she taught me so many things. Anything you want to do, pray about it. I know that whatsoever inspiration that the Holy Spirit gives you after that time, after your prayer, follow it
That's
and know
good.
that is the will of God for you for that
That's good.
particular time. So I've learned to make my business about God. I pray about it and
Yes.
I do it. And whatsoever that come afterward, I deal with it. Because the truth is that things will not even be difficult if you don't share them. The only things that people know are the things that you share. While it's okay to share your problem, because they will say a problem shared is problem half solved. At the same time, you need to be
The problem
decisive
has
and you
solved.
need to discern the kind of people you talk to. Because whether we
That's
like it
great.
or not, counsel really, really, really matters. And counsel really, really influences the choices that we make. And consequences, as you said from the beginning, consequences can be positive, can be negative. So once you
Yes.
make any decision you are making, so me, I would love to ask myself questions before I make any decision. Because now, after I got married, I realized that anything I'm doing now, that consequences, I'm not the only one suffering it. So I have people that I'm
And that's
responsible
true.
for. So anything that I want to do, and also if you even think about the people around you, because this person, I don't know whether it's a man or woman, Adiola Ididi says something. It is important that we consider the implications of our action, the effect on us and the people around us. I've even said something. I told my brothers, if you want to do anything, just understand, try to think how it's going to rub off on the people around you first before making that stupid decision that you want to make. So don't just go ahead and do anything, because you are going to tarnish the image of the people around you. There are some people that maybe you got a job by recommendation. So you are not there just to represent yourself. You are there to represent the person who recommended you.
Who recommended
So
you as well?
anything you are doing is rubbing off on that person because you didn't get that job. Okay, yeah, you have the qualifications and all, but somebody stuck their neck out for you to get that job. So it's always important to put other people just to buttress on the point that that person is making because you were asking the question. So sometimes it's always like that. So that's just my own. And anything we eventually make as decision, we should have the full chest to stick to it and ride with it. The Lord will help us. I think that the other boy once said something. Say when you marry, if you marry the wrong person, you say you that's your you just follow it like that.
You see, you
Thank
deal with
you.
it, right? Thank you so much, Damnari, for sharing. Thank you for sharing, and what you said at the end of the day is it's real. We are making a choice. Yes, you have to think about those that it's going to rub off on. Definitely. Definitely. Unless you're a very selfish person. Or if you're not selfish, you must think about that. But at the end of the day, too, the choice that you make first, it has to impact your life. It's going to impact your life. Like the lady that said is moving. I have my own experience with that, and looking back, I'm still thankful. And each person has to make the choice that is good for them. You have to make the choice that is good for you, if you're in a family, and your family, and you have to think about the consequences of those choices too. And the consequences of those choices, which is what we're talking about today. How do we make better choices? Could I have done it better? Should I go? I think I'm just going to go ahead. Nobody is saying anything about sharing the other scenario, which is the letter that was sent to me. So I'll just go ahead and I'll read that now. Or maybe before I read it, are there any comments in the chat? Carol, do you want to get that?
No, ma. There are no new comments. I don't see them.
No new comments. Are you
Yes, ma.
sure?
Yes,
I
ma.
thought I saw one.
The last comment here is the one from Adewale, the one direct that says, Pastor actually be
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So for those that are on this call, you make choices all the day, or
Oh,
every single day.
sorry.
We all make
We just
choices,
got
and
a
that's why we're
comment
here.
on YouTube.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't hear you.
We just got a comment on YouTube.
Okay, comments from YouTube.
Yeah,
All right.
from someone that stays at Sangota, Ogun State. That marriage is a school. You collect your certificates before you start. So watch your steps before you climb the ladder. That's from Olabisi.
Oh, let me see. Say, watch your steps before you climb the ladder. Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Watch your steps. But do we always know everything that in marriage that is there? I think you go in. You might not know everything, but at least you make an intelligent decision with what you know, so that whatever happens, at least you say, "Oh, I know this." And I think that well, he saw the three ladies were from the way he analyzed them, they were as plain as it was possible. And so he made that choice. Thank you so much, Olabisi. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Somebody says she cannot unmute and she's trying to speak.
We'll take care of that, ma. Please go on.
Anybody that wants to speak,
Okay.
should indicate by using the hand feature, because you cannot unmute yourself, or
Okay.
else we ask you
Yeah,
to
because with
end
this,
the.
okay. All right. All right. So let me get to the letter very quickly. We're already, 7 o'clock Nigerian time. All right. It said, so dear Miss M, so my name is Mabel as well. So he said, and so she said, dear Miss M, I'm writing this from my apartment in the US, staring at a calendar and wondering how a dream I thought would save my family ended up breaking it. I'm sharing this with you because your singles and newly married group needs to understand that in marriage, a solo vision, no matter how profitable it looks on paper, can carry a cost you can never repay. A few years ago, when I was 48, working as a successful senior banker in Port Harcourt, we had a beautiful life. That's my husband, Daniel, and my daughter, Data. My husband Daniel had a thriving law practice specializing in oil and gas. We lived very well. We lacked nothing and had a beautiful 10-year-old daughter who was the center of our world. Everything changed after a family summer vacation in America. I spent time with an old classmate of mine who had relocated and transitioned into nursing. She showed me her paycheck, talked about the immense opportunities, the stability, the US green card. A switch flipped in my head. The jackpot fever caught me, and it caught me hard. From the very day we touched down at Port Harcourt Airport, I began to press Daniel about relocating. I couldn't see anything else, but Daniel was completely against it. He would sit me down several times to explain to me why we shouldn't do it. He would say things like, look at what we have here. My practice is doing well. We live comfort. Why do you want to go and start from scratch like immigrants that don't have anything from where they're coming from? Why do you want to go and start working hard? We can afford to send Data to the best prep schools abroad, in the US if you desire, when she's older, and even to the university. We don't need to uproot our entire lives. But I wasn't hearing it. I was completely blind to his vision and to his wisdom. My mind was made up. I told myself he was just being complacent. Since he refused to move, I took matters into my own hands. I used my position at the bank to secure funding, applied for a student visa to pursue a nursing degree in the United States. I packed my bags and I left. I justified it by telling myself and everyone else that asked that it was for our collective good. Data was heartbroken. She wept and begged me not to go. She didn't care about American citizenship. She just wanted her mommy and daddy under the same roof. Daniel looked at me like a stranger that morning. He didn't send me off to the airport. Still, I pushed through the guilt and I left. I settled down, got into school, and kept thinking Daniel will see the light and bring Data to join me. But years have passed now. Miss M, and the reality of time is a brutal thing. It's that we're living thousands of miles apart. And so Daniel and I have drifted apart slowly. At first, between the growing hours of nursing school, clinical shifts and trying to survive in a new country, I didn't care or even notice. I was too busy chasing after the prize. But now that the dust has settled, the silence is real and very deafening. The long distance calls have become shorter and more formal. And eventually, had become shorter and even and more formal. And now they have stopped completely. We are strangers who happen to share a child. The biggest heartbreak, however, is data. When she turned 13, she refused to come to the United States to be with me. Because of our broken relationship, she chose instead to go to a prep school in the United Kingdom. She didn't want to live with her mother, who in her eyes abandoned her for a foreign degree. I'm sitting here today with my US qualifications, but my home is gone. I chased a future for my family, only to lose that very family. I wanted to secure her future, but instead, I think I've destroyed the present. Miss M, please tell your group success outside the home can never compensate for failure inside it. When your partner says we're fine, stop and look at what you already have before you throw it away for what you think you need. Sincerely, a lonely mom. So that's the other person. That's the other person. And talking about choices and consequences. It seems as if hers is very clear, right? But I'm wondering, do you think that her husband was harsh? Could they have done this in a more, in a way that they could compromise? Or was she the one that was just wrong? Is there something they could have done different? For me, the person I feel the most for is data. Because for a child, a 10-year-old, I remember a friend of mine telling me years ago that her mother left her at 10. And I just kept thinking of myself. At 10, I was in Queen's College. Can't imagine if it wasn't that she died, because that would not have been voluntary. If she just left, I don't know how I would have coped. I don't know how it would have been. And so that friend of mine, she's very special to me because, I've watched her deal with those things over the years. And then I had a member of staff many years ago too, who worked with me in the school. And before I knew what the background was, maybe because I work with younger people and I just love them, I could not understand. There was just something about her that wasn't settled. There was something about her that was not settled. She was just so flighty. There's just something. She couldn't settle in to do anything completely. And I would, her supervisor would reprimand her, they would bring her to the office, all kinds of things would happen. So one day I just sat down and said, tell me about yourself. And as soon as she said that her mother walked away, moved abroad, let me not say walked away, moved abroad when she was 10, I just understood. So when I got this too, and she's telling me that data is 10, those two people come to my mind. And I know how that move that both their moms made affected their lives. So I'm not saying it's just moms. I'm just talking about my own experience and the people that are in my own life and how I saw it unfold. I didn't know them when they were 10. I didn't know either of them when they were 10. I met one when we were in our 30s. I met the other one as a 20-something-year-old lady. So far away from when the mothers walked away, but I saw the impact. I saw it. So maybe if it was the father too, would have been the same. I don't know. But that I'm just trying to explain to you why I feel so much and I feel I'm so empathetic and I feel compassionate towards data, because I know she's in school in the UK and all, but there must be something, a longing for that bond with her mom that is not there. And yet she chose to go to the UK. So it's like avoidance as well, like cut off. I don't know. So she's asking us to share. I don't know whether she wants cancel, or is there something we can say about this in other ways as well? You've heard the stories. You heard the two stories now. We're moving towards the end of this program. It's choices and consequences. We're talking about the choices that we make. Some of them we're not mindful when we make them. Like, you're thirsty, you drink water, you just drink and you move on. You wake up in the morning, God wakes you up, you just sit down and you walk away. You're not really mindful of those things. Or you're trying to cross the road and you're looking left and right. So some things are just, it's your instinct. When you move back when somebody splashes water, some things. But there are some choices that, you're deliberate about, like these two choices that we've shared here. What do you have to say about them? It might not be about them specifically. It could be about you. Did you make a choice that you regret? Did you make a choice that you are happy with? And did it not seem like that at that time? Because we need to hear that as well. We need to hear that as well. Because at times, some choices might not seem like they're excellent, but they turn out to be the very best thing that ever happened to you. And like I said, consequences are positive or negative. They're not always negative. They're not always negative. For instance, say she got her degree. That's a good thing, since that was what she wanted. But the other parts to it too. So, but it's in your court. I have been talking so much today. Let's talk about it faithful. You've made me talk too much today. You've made me talk too much today. I want you to unmute. All right, you have to raise your hand. If you want to unmute, please raise your hand. So thank you so much. Thank you.
We're still waiting for hands, but I have my own hands up. While you were reading this last story, I mean, by the middle, I started writing my question. It was one of the questions, but then I got to figure out that she actually gave birth to that girl, that child. I will start by saying she wasn't thoughtful enough. Because from the way you started, I thought probably she was a stepdaughter.
She's her daughter. She's her
biological daughter. I'm sorry, Mal. Well, in my own little, I'm a very young man, but in my little experience, I would say she wasn't really being thoughtful enough. I would share a quick story, ma. One of the things that has shaped my own life. I'm a filmmaker by profession, and I heard about this story. There was this award-winning filmmaker, so he was holding a masterclass, right? Had so many upcoming filmmakers. They were asking him questions. This is somebody who had won Oscars like 3 times. I mean, that's the dream of every filmmaker, to be in that limelight. And when he was saying all these things, he asked them, what do you think is the most important thing in all these things? Because there was something that was missing from that man's life. Dedicated all his life to this profession and all. Now you're approaching your 60s. You don't have a family. Now the world knows your name and all like that. No, but they can't feel that empty spot for you now. And that man look at him and be like, what are you all struggling for? If you don't abandon your family, everybody can leave you. Your family would not leave you. And
the man said that.
Yeah, no. I'm just that's my own now.
Oh,
that's my own.
okay.
Like, everybody can leave you, but you need something to. I mean, you need people who are going to like hold your back, and it's your family that will do that. The man asked everybody a question. So, what's the most important thing? If you think it's award, the truth is that when you make a film, you wins award this year, another person is going to make another film that's going to beat your film next year. So where does it end? So any decision, I mean, when it even comes to family, I've lived in this country for 3 years and I've seen different things. You are aware about the film that I made. There was someone that was meant to be on that film with us. Before we started, The man couldn't take the pressure of this place anymore. He went back to Nigeria. So a whole lot of people back at home till now still do not understand the kind of pressure that is in this part of the world. I mean, people just see the jackpot thing for what it is. But the truth is that if God, it's only God that is just sustaining most of us. When I was about to leave Nigeria, there was you were aware I was part of this Breath of Life film. Everybody that worked on that film, particularly in the capacity that I worked as, that was meant to be the break for me. But it was immediately after that film, I came to Europe. The director called me and be like, bro, I don't understand. Why did you choose to leave at this particular time? The director of that film, he finished that film, he retired from the money and the recognition that he made from that film. So I understood exactly, and almost everybody who worked on that film, everybody got something better, to do, and then he boosted their career. But it was my choice. I came here, I have to start all over again. But I knew the reason why I had to do that. I had a boss who got married because he didn't want to leave Nigeria, he didn't want to leave his position. 1 month after marriage, the marriage broke off. Until now, he's still unmarried. The wife has remarried in the US now. I can bet you he goes to bed every
The
night
marriage
with
broke up after
regrets.
1 month. Sorry,
After
hold
1
on.
month. Because why?
The marriage
The
broke up
woman,
after 1 month.
after 1 month, man, the woman in the US, she was in the US when she got married. She has a career there. She said she can't relocate back to Nigeria. Oga said he can't go and join her in America. After 1 month.
Wait, listen, didn't they talk about this before they
Honestly,
make
sometimes
married?
I try to ask myself this question sometimes.
Wow.
I try to ask
Wow.
myself this kind of question sometimes. But till now, this man is still unmarried. I can bet you, yeah, you're making people know you in the industry and all like that. I can bet you he goes to bed every night regretting. Because
let me say this for this part too, like for the man that has the 3 Oscars, like you said, I think some people make a choice never to marry. So don't think that because he doesn't have the family that we traditionally have, that he's unfulfilled. Some people choose not to get married and bear children. Let's give an example. Oprah has been with what's his name? Stedman. Is this Sted? Yes, Stedman. He's been with Stedman for whatever, decades, like 40 years or something, like a married couple, but she's chosen not to have children. So the reason I'm saying this is so that if somebody has made a choice not to get married, we don't think that the person is without family.
I understand, ma. I understand that point. The reason why I said that, it is based on what he said.
On what he said.
What he said. Because I mean, if you choose something, as I said, if you choose not to marry, be ready to deal with the consequences. I mean, it might be positive for you, might be negative for you. But it is the point at which now you've gotten to the point whereby probably you have other filmmakers. They're not as achieved as you are, but you go to their houses for dinners and all like that. You see, it's moments like that make you like, all right, when you go back home, who do you stay with? But just to come back to wrap it all up, ma, this woman, I don't think she think it very, very, very well. She didn't think it through, because in everything that you do, not even when you have a child, every decision you make is not just about you anymore. You need to put that child in consideration. Now she has an American visa. She might even have a green card. She has a degree. She has everything. But what happens to the family now?
Just to jump on that, Dami, she did put the child
Thank
in.
you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. We're still waiting for this edition. I thought I would get so many people speaking, because this is choices and consequences, and we make choices every day. 35,000 choices a day, and nobody wants to speak about this. Dami, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Back to you, Carol.
We have a hand up, but before Mr. Ola speaks, I just wanted to add to what Dami said, that she did consider the child I remember you mentioning that one of her reasons for going there was because she wanted her child to get citizenship or something. So I believe she did consider the child. And then another question that comes to my head is she's regretting now because she's lost the family and all. But if she had not traveled abroad to get the certificate and everything that she wanted, and she remained in Nigeria, would she still not have regrets? Well, that's probably still not have caused the strain.
We should not have what?
Still have regrets.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. We should not have what?
Will she still not have regrets? Yeah, I would that still not also
We should have not have regrets.
A strain in her marriage because she will be blaming him that they had traveled at that time now things and considering the situation in Nigeria. So I feel like if you're going to make the decision, just stick with it. So it's well.
Yes,
Sorry,
okay,
Caroline, from the story,
right.
she didn't think about this America until they met Pizza, until she met someone who had been to America. That's a very important part of this, because it's one thing for you if you have been talking about it before, that's different. Okay, now somebody had made something, it's okay, and then you now start developing ideas, and then you now make decisions based on that. That's not good, in my opinion. Thank you, ma'am.
I like this. I like this. I like the fact that, Carol, you said that she would have regretted this as well. And you know what? Very true. If she stayed back in Nigeria, if she did it unwillingly, if she stayed back in Nigeria and did not go get that degree in nursing, she would have been resentful of the man. But if she had agreed and said, you know what, truly, we're okay, I'm doing well in banking, the law practice is doing well, we have a beautiful daughter, like she described, and she said, you know what, that was a fleeting thought, let me let it go, then she would have been fine. It would have been to the point that even the friend would have been like, thank God you didn't come with the stress here, I'm just thinking, you understand? But if she stayed back unwillingly, definitely there would have been resentments. Whatever we do not do, if you make a choice, I said something, I said some choices are fostered or not, they're pushed or not, they're made for us. If you make a person make a choice that they don't want, they will live with it, or resentment would come. Especially when it comes to close relationships. Or resentment would come, definitely. So thank you for both of you for sharing. And I'm glad that you said she wasn't thinking about going to the US institute on vacation. And this wasn't the first time they've been on vacation. They go on vacation annually. But she said this time around, because she met that friend and she saw the paycheck. But the guy kept telling her, as the husband, like, we're fine. But yeah, but she's writing to tell us here, like she said it clearly, that please tell them that every action, how did she say it again? I'm going to go back and look at that. But please, let's go on. Let me see. I know for certain that whatever we are today, whoever you are, whoever I am, it's a collation, a coming together of the choices that we have made. The choices that we have made, definitely. At times it's choices that we made willingly, and at times it's choices that we just made. And at times we make choices. I remember there was this clothing outfit in Chicago back then was I can't remember the name now, but the slogan was the educated consumer. And I liked that a lot, the educated consumer. At times, when I think about it, we make choices because we're not educated, because you don't have all the information and you make a choice. But when you have all the information and you make a choice that is regretful, it's much more painful, and I think that's where she is now. That's where she is. Her name is kept because she shared the name of her husband and her daughter, so she didn't want to share her name. So, it's tough for her, but life is going to go on, right? She's going to have to trudge on. What can she do? How can she do it differently? Is that possible? Is there a coming back? Is there, I don't know. But let's talk about it because you guys might be able to advise and counsel on that. Anybody? And then we still have the issue of our DAPO.
So we have a hand
and
now.
the choices and the school. All right, let's take the hand now because we only have 20 minutes left and then we have to go. It's been an interesting time, even though I wish that more people had spoken up instead of just writing today. Well, thank you for being here anyway. I'm really glad you did show up. Thank you. All right, let's go.
Auntie Funke.
Hello.
Auntie Funke, you can unmute now, ma.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, loud and clear. We can hear you.
Okay, good evening, ma. Good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank God. Thank God. Oh my God, I so much enjoyed this conversation this evening. In fact, the second story
Thank God.
actually, well done, ma. Thank you. More grace, ma. More grace. It's even the
Amen.
second story I want to talk about.
Yes, please go ahead.
Second story. Yeah. Like now I was asking my husband, I said, I couldn't get that part of being on vacation and she saw the pay slip of her friend that made her to just opt for the master degree. I was thinking she just felt, oh, she needed to have more certificates to help her in her career progression or something.
No,
But here
she switched careers totally.
switch career because of her friend's pay slip. That's bad. That's bad because I jotted down some things I wanted to say, that it's good to make some choices, to have more certificates to help you
Yes.
in your career progression. Like for me, I have done one and I'm about to take another one. Reason being that it will help me in my work. And now hearing that it will still, of course, the first one I experienced a lot of difficulties. Don't let me call it difficulties. It was tight for me. Balancing the work, the family, and also partial business. It was very, very difficult. I was in Lagos then. Now in Ibadan, here too, the work schedule here is now bigger than when I was in Lagos. So I'm planning to also take another, as in to also get another degree now, another master degree now. So I'm looking at it. Will I be able to balance this? Of course, I've obtained the form. I've done that. I'm already on it. So what I'm even saying now is wisdom is not choosing the path with no consequences. So wisdom is choosing the consequences you are willing and prepared to live with because of the
Willing and prepared to live with. I like that.
because of the future you are trying to build. I am trying to attain my DG position in this my career. So if you know where you're going to, then you aim high. Maybe the mistake she made was not, maybe she's supposed to discuss with her husband. This is what I want to do. She
did.
So
she discussed with him and he said, maybe you missed that part. She did. She discussed with him and he said, we are fine. Your banking job is doing well. My law practice is doing excellently well. And we have one daughter, we're happy. Why do you have to go and study nursing? Why do you have to leave the family and go? So she did. She did.
Anyway, so what I'm learning tonight is that life is not usually a choice between consequences and no consequences. You understand? It is often choice between different consequences. So
the consequences that you can live with.
Yes.
I
So
love that.
I'll just ask myself a question: that which consequences am I willing to bear for the future?
Ah,
So if I know that this thing that I want to do, the consequences may be small, okay, fine. I will not have time for the children. I will not have time for my husband. I will not have time for myself. But let me get this. If I get this, how is it going to help me in future? So that is what I'll be looking at. I'll just be looking at that. Why I bear the consequences. I will know that okay, when I finish this thing, oh, okay, I'll get this. But let me just bear the consequences. It's just for a while. It's just for a while. Both sides has their own consequences. I pray the Lord will help us. So I'll
Thank
sacrifice
you so
today.
much.
I'll
Thank you. We
sacrifice
might.
today so that I will not sacrifice them
Sorry.
tomorrow. Thank
Please,
you so
I
much.
didn't hear you.
I said today, if I sacrifice today, like now, if I like pursuing my master degree comes with sacrifice. So sacrifice today, but I am making those sacrifices because of the opportunities I will hope to have tomorrow. So those
Tomorrow, for the opportunity after tomorrow.
yes.
And I know the fact that you said the consequences, everything has a consequence, but you must choose the one, that you're able to live with, because every choice has a consequence, and that's reality. It could be positive, it could be negative, and whatever is perceived as negative to somebody might not be so to another.
Exactly. So
So
like
it's your
those consequences I can live
so at the end of the day,
those consequences I
okay.
can live with. Tire me legbe that I can carry, that I have chest to bear
I can
it.
live with. Okay.
My friend will not be
All
able to bear that same thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. I like the fact that you shared with us now. And I also want to just go back to what Data's mom, thank God I didn't see her name. What Data's mom said. I'm going to go back to that. She said something that I want us to remember. She said, please tell your group success outside the home can never compensate for failure inside. So we have to remember that too. So can you live with it? Our sister has just said something now, and that's true. That consequences will always be good, but it's the ones you can live with. Anything, whatever you can live with. So for her, obviously she's not doing well with this consequence of the choice that she made. She's not doing well with it. So she's not. Somebody else, like the two ladies I had spoken about earlier, the women continued. Did they regret it? I don't know. All right, thank you so much. Anybody else? I see comments, but I want people to unmute and speak. We only have, how many minutes more? 15 minutes more now. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right.
We have 2 hands up. I think the first one is Ruthie, and then after that, Olawale. So we're going to
So
take
before we
Ruthie
take Ruthie and Olawale, can we take the comments? Because the comments will just keep going and we don't want them to pile. All right, so Carol, can we have the comments, please?
Should we take the people first or comment first?
Comments first. Comments first. Thank you. Then we'll take people. Thank you.
PI on YouTube says she's joining from Chicago. And Sylvia says some of us missed the first story. Then Mr. Byron says, good day, all, good to be here. In driving, for every turn, there must be a return. Just watch it.
For every turn, there must be a return.
Just watch it.
Mr. Byron, you will unmute us and explain that. All right, please go on.
Then Auntie Soken says, she repeated what Auntie Funke said. Oh my God, word. Wisdom is choosing consequences you're willing to live with. That is so true. I don't think a lot of us think of the consequences, just the benefits, which are sometimes fleeting.
It's true.
I
like that. Just the benefits, the immediate benefits at times.
Sometimes fleeting.
So hold on, sorry. So it means that somehow at times there's benefits and And there's a difference between benefits and consequences at times. Taking to another level. All right, go on. Thank you, Carol. Please go on.
That's all, ma.
Oh, that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you to Pastor Isoke. I think she made those comments. I don't know who else has the comments. Thank you. Anybody else? The two that wanted to be, or someone who wants to unmute now. So let's go. Ruthie, and then I think Mr. Lawale, and then anybody else.
And then
Please.
we have, now the hands are 3, so we'll take Ruthie first.
Good job.
Please, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Auntie, good evening, ma. I have
evening,
lots to
Ruthie.
know because let me just start by saying me, I am the pro-wife. Let me just put it so that everybody understand where I'm coming from. I'm the pro-wife. Because I've always asked myself this
Pro what?
pro-wife, meaning I'm siding the wife. Like I'm on the wife's side. Yes, I'm the pro-wife.
Okay.
Decision, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
pro-wife.
pro-wife. So my first question is why is it that it has to be the woman that would compromise her career, decision making in the marriage? I've always had this question for years. Why not the man? So now I have one or two expatriate friends back here in Nigeria. Just a few days ago, I was speaking with one. He's from Ghana. He's a Ghanaian. He's an engineer back here. So we were having a discussion at the gym. He has this Indian friend. I want to bring out something here. So this Indian friend, I know him. All of us, we do talk, meet at the gym, and we do talk about yari. So talk about talk. And I asked him, I was like, why is it that you people expatriate, like, what do you have to do for you to be considered an expatriate? He said, nothing really much. He now used his friend, the Indian guy. This guy we're talking about is 41 years old. He's not an old person, he's a young guy. But if you look at him, he look like someone that is 51. Well, Jimon Fash. So he now said something. He said that friend of his, Auntie, please get the degree that guy is using to work in Nigeria, and I will tell you the parastatal and position this guy hold. Please just guess. I want to start. I will make it brief, but I want to bring out something. This guy has a diploma. You and I know in Nigeria, diploma is ND or HND. And they do regard this set of people in some parastatals. This guy is holding a managerial position in Globacom. Hey, God. What about my friend that is the Ghanaian? He's in his mid-40s. He's a top engineer ending in thousands of dollars. Very nice man. But I want to say this man only had, I think he has the BSc, probably with one of their two professional exam, what have you. But I'm sure he doesn't have a master's. I want to bring us something. So if with the level of Nigeria, we see the discrimination, somebody that studied abroad with owning masters, thank God people studying in the UK, US, they are beginning to speak up. Most of them upon their graduation, they are not given a good job abroad. You can't still be in a normal BSc diploma level with someone that is working in that same country that is a national. You will have master be doing care job. I spoke with a friend in the UK today.
Sure.
So imagine with what we are going through in Nigeria with this Tinubu regime. We know even though with the rich self, everybody, we are feeling the economy. Thank God for grace. Everything is not times 10 of the usual price 3 years ago. So I'm just saying that woman that had opportunity, okay, fine, she decided all of the blue moon and all that. She wants to move there. And the husband is saying no. But this men I'm even telling you about, they are not here with their wives. Why didn't the wife stop them that no, you are not going for a greener pasture? You are not going anywhere. Why didn't the wife say no, you can't go? Why must it be the woman to compromise her dream? And the situation, I'm sorry, no man. We say I should not go
Ruthie, let me ask you a few questions.
Okay, God, I beg.
Okay, Ruthie, thank you. But let me ask you a few questions. Do you know that the wives are not upset that they're in Nigeria? I'm just asking, are you sure that the wives are not upset that they're in Nigeria? So that's one part. And then the other part is, did you hear the entire story about, do you hear the entire story that when the woman that wrote the letter, did you hear the entire story? Oh, Did we lose Ruthie? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, Auntie.
I'm sorry,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes. I said, did you hear the entire story about the woman?
I heard the part. I heard some part because my network has been bad. That they say that the husband has a good job, all that. The wife has a good job, but the husband was not willing to go with her.
And you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from. That it's true. Why is it that women always have to be the ones to make a compromise, to bear the brunt when it comes to career choices and advancements and all? I hear you. I hear you very, very loudly. I hear you. But in this particular situation, I don't know whether it's different. I don't want to put anything out there more than she has done already. The husband was saying, we're fine. You have an amazing banking job. My law firm is thriving. We have our daughter. We can go on vacations. When it's time for this girl to go to secondary school, we send her to a prep school in the US and for her university. Why do you have to go and study nursing? That's what he was saying, So I wanted to hear that part of the story just in case. But I'm here. I hear you clearly that especially in this part of the world, it's always the woman that seems to have to make the choice. So maybe that's something we need to talk about very soon. And I know that Ruthie, you're going to spearhead that and you'll be able to share even more views on that with us, right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Ruthie. But Ruthie has asked the question. Why is it that the woman, what if, let's even ask, what if she had a latent desire to study nursing? What if it was just there and for the first time, she now said, wow, this nursing can actually pay me financially as well. What if that was what happened? I'm just wondering. All right, please let's have the other people that want to unmute. Thank you.
Mr. Olawale, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening. Good evening, ma. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I think we have been emotional about this thing a little bit, especially our ladies. The lesson I think we should learn from this thing is that we shouldn't look at someone else's life to think that I want to live that kind of life. You are here in Nigeria and everything is okay. Because if you can afford to be going to US for vacation, that means you are doing well. You are doing well on your own. But since someone else pays sleep, and you think that because she's studying, she's doing nursing in America, then you want to go for it. And so the husband, I think the husband has a say, and the decision that she took, she took a very wrong decision, to be sincere. I have a friend here. He's doing very, very well, Lekon. The wife, she's a civil servant. She's working with state government in Lagos. The husband is doing well. They go for vacation in US, sometimes in UK, nearly every year. I was the one that even told her the last time that, why can't you just try and send your children abroad to go and study? Because she has this wonderful guy, very tall, and the guy is very good in sports. That can go out to play basketball. He said I should talk to my friend. So when I tried to approach Lekon, what Lekon told me was that if they should leave America, what will he be doing in America? That him that has a company here in Nigeria, what will he be doing there? He has his time to do his business here. He will now go to America. He will not even have time for his family. He will just focus on how to make money to pay bills to raise the children. And I think that is what the husband also see. Once you are doing well here, one, you have been doing the work and you are making your money here. And the wife, she's not even doing badly. You have time. You are even both enough to go abroad to spend vacation, and you can afford to send children for schooling in US or anywhere you want. So I don't think she make a good decision. I don't think so. Because in the sense that even we should even have the time to raise our family there. We will not even have the time. Because you have to go to work. Of course, it's not like Nigeria that you go to work so time. You know, you have to start doing shifting that one should be at home. You know, all this kind of life. So she didn't program it very well. The only problem that I noticed about women, we look at one side. They don't look at, they focus their mind on one direction. They don't look elsewhere. And that's why we men, we have a broad mind. We figure it out. Okay, this is what's going to happen.
Mr. Okwala, you have generalized.
No. Okay, I'm sorry to use that word anyway. But
Mr. Okwala, women are coming for you for this.
No, most ladies, most women, sometimes they are like one-way traffic. They just, once they made up their mind, then they like this life of competitive life. Women, they love that. And
that's not Mr. Allah, we're coming for you. We're coming for you because you have just generalized.
Okay,
you have said that women
like that lady. That's what I say now. Because you are a banker, for crying out loud. Your friend, she's a nurse. It's two different career. So why now? Because of that paycheck, that you saw her paycheck, that she's collecting so amount, you convert it to naira, and you just believe that is the next life you want to live. If I happen to be the husband, I'll take that same stand. That's what I'll take. That is the same stand. If we both agreed, okay, you want to do this, okay, because it should be an agreement between the two of you. Okay, let's figure it.
It should be an agreement.
So there should. That you're married, so it's not that you just decide. For the fact that your husband,
you just generalized and said women. No, women are not as well. It's okay to be emotional because we're people of emotions, both men and women. But at the same time, women are very resilient, and we're deep thinkers. We're analytical. You know, so when we make decisions, it's not frivolous too. So maybe this person's decision.
I agree with you, but she just portray the kind of person that I'm talking about, the kind of women that I'm talking about. So so she made it wrong and she got it wrong. And so because before you take any decision, you should first look at your family. So far you are not single. You don't make any decision on your own because you are now many, not just you alone. You have an husband and you have a child. So you should put those factors into consideration before you take any decision.
And so that will take us back to what Diola has said at the beginning, that when you're making choices, let it be fair to those that are involved. So that's what we're bringing it back. I told her to unmute so that she could speak, but she didn't want to do that. But what she said is now being tied to what Mr. Ola said. Mr. Ola, thank you so much for sharing your view. And I'm excited about the passion that I hear your voice concerning this. I like it. And we're going to take the next person. Well, before we take the next person, can we have the comments? We have 8 minutes less than 8 minutes. You see, I told you, let's talk about it, people. You do this to me all the time. All the time. All right, let's go. Carol, can you take the comments, please? Then we'll take the last person that wants to speak. I think it was Mr. I don't know who it was, but anyway, just go ahead.
We have 2 hands up, ma. We have Isoke and another person. So maybe after
those can we get the comments? Okay. So listen, so do we get the comments or do we get the people? Well, whoever is unmuted now, we're giving you 2 minutes.
So on YouTube, Mr. Byron says some women. That's it. Then on Zoom, Isoken said, this was not a career dream change, though it was a career change based on money. Perhaps they had money issues that she's not disclosing. Then she's now responding to Mr. Ola. It is okay to be emotional, just as it is okay to be logical. Somebody, Damilare said, God bless you, sir, to Mr. Ola. Just losing support. then Mr. Adewale says, if women are going to be the one to pay for accommodation and settle school fees and other family bills, and her money becomes our family money and not her own money, I think he meant then the man can think of bending while she continue with her career. But in the absence of the above, I think the woman should consider such career advice.
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, you are going to a different part now. Tell us
I think he meant
that,
should.
you know,
We appreciate all the sacrifice for the family.
It's my money and our money. Okay. Carol, please carry on.
Then Isake said, that is stereotyping, Mr. Ola. Then Mr. Adewale says, he's right, ma. I think that's to Mr. Ola, that Mr. Ola is right. Men think of consequences before their actions. Wow. The converse is the situation for women. Women 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 will generally react at every instance and impulse, not necessarily thinking of the weight of the consequences that may follow. It's okay now.
Mr. Ibrahim, that is too much.
Responded and said, no, he is not. He is generalizing all women. Has he met all the women in Nigeria, not to talk of the whole world? That is logically inaccurate. I can repeat that. That is logically inaccurate.
All right. Thank you so much. I love this comment and I love the banter going on. I like that. I really do. I wish all of you had started 1 hour ago to do this. But now you're bringing all the power and all the force and all the passion into it. We still like it, but I wish you just started earlier. All right. So we have the two people that are going to be our last two commentators for the day. Who are they?
I think that's me. I've been asked to unmute. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
So, oh my God, Mr. Ola, he brought back trauma from my past.
I knew it.
He brought back trauma. He brought back trauma from my years in leadership. And I was like, oh, my heart was beating so fast. I'm like, oh, I wish we were in person. But that statement he said is logically inaccurate. I have been in leadership. You cannot use the word all for people. You cannot. You cannot say all white people, all Yoruba people, all Edo people, all women, all men. It's logically inaccurate because you've not met everyone. You just met a little subset and you have concluded for a whole group of people. That is the definition of stereotypical. That's what it's called. But I get it. I understand it. And I don't agree with it. I think it's, let me not use the word that of what I think about it. Lord have mercy. Do you know that for years, right? I've been in leadership, church leadership, before I moved into nonprofit leadership for years. And in 9 out of 10 situations, in the highest level in the board of trustees I was a part of, I would look at them and say, this thing is not right. And they would say, you're being emotional. And they would vote. 2 weeks down the line, I'm right. After a while, I had no pleasure anymore from being right because we were paying for their decisions, right? So you cannot say women are emotional, and there's nothing wrong with emotions. If God didn't want us to have emotions, He won't have given them to us. Just as you cannot be coldly logical all the time. Sometimes decisions are made that logically do not make sense, but your intuition, your emotion tells you to do it, and they are proved right. You see that in things like Mark Zuckerberg, that was a dropout, that logically he should have completed school, but he did not. He followed a passion, and then look at where he is today. So logic is not always the answer. Neither is emotion always the answer. It's a merging of both, right? That's why as Christians, we are spirit, soul, and body. It's a merging of both. You have your emotions. Do you know how many men have come to tell me, oh, I was about to make this business decision. I had done all the business plan. And then my wife said something about it did not feel right. She couldn't explain why. And then he decided, you know what? I will listen to my wife. Down the line, information he didn't have comes to light, and the wife was right. But she didn't use
We
logic
have a
to get
sixth
there.
sense. We have a sixth sense that God
It
gave us.
there's
Very
intuition, there's
intuitive.
discernment. Intuition,
Yes,
there's discernment. So
sixth
please, men,
sense.
I'm begging
Very
you,
intuitive.
if you're married, realize the gift that God has given your spouses. They are your helpmate. And sometimes that emotional, illogical thing she's coming, settle down, calm down, and say, oh, honey, maybe there's something in what you're saying. Let us bring it before the Lord, and God will save us from a lot of decisions where men have taken all the family savings and run into businesses that ended up ruining the family. So that was that. But that wasn't what I came for. This is just an emotional thing that I use when I'm talking to my young men in
This was just
Chicago. And I
coming from
say,
Mr. Ola.
yes, this was coming from Mr. Allah. So, Mr. Allah, I love you, sir, but you are warned. Okay. So, for the sister that brought, I was just sitting down and I was thinking about that. My heart just hurts. It hurts. It hurts because that sister that said, I'm going to make sure I write that thing somewhere, that talked about consequences. For example, when people are about to buy houses in the US, they just think about the mortgage. You just calculate the mortgage, but they don't calculate other things, right? So they don't calculate the
Yes.
fact that there is insurance. They don't calculate the fact that if something goes wrong, you have to repair it.
Yes.
Do you have the money? They don't calculate the fact that, okay, now utilities that used to be the landlord's responsibility when you were a renter are now your responsibilities. Those are thinking of consequences beyond what is unseen. And that's why you ask people questions, right? In a multitude of counselors, there is safety. You go, you ask people questions. What do I think about it? What do I think? That lady, that auntie was very emotional and I felt for her and I understood what it means. And a lot of times, people do not, she was saying, why does it have to be the woman to sacrifice? That is true. And it's very unfair, right? Why does it always have to be the woman? That is a traditionally Nigerian mindset because we're patriarchal, right? We're patriarchal. The man is the head of the house. And it's true too in the Bible. And that's why people that are coming here, right? Couples that are coming here, we have to culturally change their mindset to get the benefits of them being truly partners. And truly, that's not how God meant it. God meant for both of them to be partners where sacrifices are discussed and agreed upon. I have seen women who came to the US, they saw the so called good life and they just abandoned it and they were stuck. They were not able to go home because if they go home, they'll never be able to come back to the US because they triggered their overstay, right? They are not able to go home. They are miserable. So for that extra money, you don't get to see your kids grow up. You don't get to see the things that should have been there for those children. And some of the children turn out okay, but a lot of them do not turn out okay without their parents being there. You see parents sending children abroad and you don't know what those children go through, right? And they're alone in the US at 16. Flaky, you remember Sarah, right? They come at they are young. They don't know anything. They don't have the things that should have been there as a parent to guide and keep them in their formative years. So I think one thing we should learn from that story is what that auntie said about consequences that are unseen. A friend bought a house, and 2 weeks after buying the house, the boiler went bad. Okay, you're looking at $40,000 that she did not plan for when she was dreaming about her dream house. When she moved in, I was taking pictures on Instagram. When she was showing everybody her new furniture and her new kitchen. So I think I really want to emphasize on what that auntie said about think deeply about the consequences. Are you able to leave? And from the story, obviously, the lady is regretting it. No matter whether it's a gender, should it be a woman to give up, or whether it is she shouldn't, is it my money, or she is regretting it. So everyone needs to think about the full consequences and don't take a stand based on gender, please. Don't take a stance based on what is best for my family, not pride. Bible says pride comes before a fall. And the person that says that women don't think, that's an insult. And I really want you to go back and start before the Holy Spirit and ask the Holy Spirit to open your mind about this, to be able to teach you a little bit more than I can.
We
Thank you,
actually
everybody.
think. Women do think.
We think a lot. We think a
If you
lot.
don't think, if you don't think, then you're
If we don't think, how will we
We
use the little
think
money
much
that
more than
our
men do,
husbands
actually.
give us? Flaky. If we don't think, how do we get small money and we use it to, to buy food and be creative with our menu? Don't even say that. Women think. There are women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies in the United States. What are we talking about?
And you know what?
Please
Even
don't say
bringing it
that.
down to the basics.
Yes,
I totally
please
agree.
don't.
Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you,
so
everybody, for your
deeply.
time.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And to speak to that part of thinking, well, if you say women don't think, they have to think about this. She married you. If you're married, are you saying she didn't think? Are you saying she didn't think? So we have to think about that and say, oh, she married you. If you're married, if you're not married, if you want to get married, whoever it is that's making that choice with you, they should be very skeptical about that. All right? Okay, thank you. All right, the final person speaking, because we have to round up. We're over time now. We're over time. Final thoughts. Who's the person? Why are you unmuting, please?
It was Ruth, but she has dropped her hand, so maybe I'll just read the comment here.
Okay, so we'll read the comments and then we'll round off. All right, thank you.
Her hand is back up. Ruth's hand is back up.
Okay, all right, Ruthie, we can have you 1 minute because we're over time.
I want to say something to that uncle that asked that if the woman can be footing the bill. In 1 minute, I want to tell you that I have 2 people in my life. One is currently doing it. One may also rest in peace. The first one was my late grandmother. My late grandmother separated from my living grandfather of 89 years. My grandfather was working with what they call the Julius Baker, doing well financially. I don't know what happened. They separated. My late grandmother built a house at Orile. That house is still functional today. They are still collecting rent from tenants. She had the bakery. She had the water business. She had transportation business. She was taking care of 6 children, including my late father and firstborn. I just want to tell you that people are taking bills. Secondly, my friend, she's married to one guy. She's a successful baker in Benin Republic. This lady with the husband she carried, God forgive me, in a figurehead. This lady is the one doing 90% of the responsibility. And this guy's working with the Nigerian embassy. I don't want to talk about it.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruthie. Thank you. Always like her passion and the hits that she brings. All right, thank you. All right, Carol, can you take the comments so we can round off quickly?
Yes, ma'am. So same comment from Ruth. She says, "Thank you, ma'am. Must it be a competition between both gender? Can we let our ego down sometimes?" Then Claire said, "The Trinity is not logical, neither is the fact that God took human form." Then Auntie Funke, Auntie Funke Okunla was laughing. And then Mr. Adewale says, "Well, normally women are better risk takers and have better intuition over men. That part I agree and follow my wife's intuition because I perceive she may be considering what my intuition failed to calculate." Then Mr. Ola said, "Sorry for using the word all, but most women." Then and Sarah was laughing too. And Mr. Ola said, "Please don't get me wrong. What I mean is that they are not being logical when making decisions." Then there was a reply from Auntie Sokin, said, "Again, sir, that is logically inaccurate." Mama.
Oh, Thank you so much, everybody. This has been very, very interesting, and we've learned a lot. Definitely taken a lot. End of discussion. Somebody says, I'm so thankful to every single person that has participated, and even those that have been mute, just quiet and are here. Thank you for your presence. I appreciate that. We're really thankful. Talking about choices and consequences, we shared the lives of 2 people today. These are serious issues that we actually shared. We have Tapo and the choices that he had and the option he picked at the end and how that is working out for him. And also we have our dear sister whose husband is Daniel and daughter is Data. And her choice to go abroad against the counsel and agreement of her husband or the, for her own, for her education and pursuits and all. And those serious situations. And go back to the fact that every choice you make has a consequence. So both parties experience choices, yes, and they made the choices, and at the end of the day, they have consequences that they are living with right now, and they are trying to amend those consequences. How do we make great choices? Number one, you have to be calm. Don't make a choice in the heat of the moment. We're talking about things that you have to make a lifetime decision or something that will impact other people. Calm down, think through it. Don't be emotional in terms of what she's saying. Say, oh, emotional. Don't let your emotions be high. Don't make decisions when you're extremely happy. Don't take decisions when you're extremely sad. Because both ways your emotions are not balanced, and that's reality. When you do that, you might not pick what you're supposed to pick. You might pick an option that you don't want. So that's something that we have to learn. That's number one. So be calm. Look through it. Get all the facts. Do your research. Get all the facts. Don't think about just the immediate benefits of this. What about the future? If it matters to you, what about the future? Weigh your pros and cons for real. You have to wait. One of our sisters said something that we're all going to be taking away with us today. And she said, you have to pick the choice that will give you the consequences that you can live with. The consequences that you can handle. So weigh the pros and cons, weigh the positives and the negative, weigh the things that work for you and the things that don't work for you, weigh what happens, if it's a family context, how does it affect the rest of your family? Because whatever decision you make would affect them one way or the other. And then you know what? Why do you want to make that choice? Our dear sister that went to the US for the nursing degree, I'm not sure, because I know she's regretting right now, definitely, but it's not always that path for everybody. So she could have stepped back and said to herself, why this goal? If that goal was noble enough, if that goal was as dear to her and was as deep, maybe she won't have any regrets today. And that's one thing. Somebody else would have made that choice and said, you know what? I've made that choice and this is what I want and I'm going to do it. I could have done that. So check out, why am I doing this? What are my goals? What's the reason for my doing it? Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? And then ask for help. Ask for help horizontally. Come to let's talk about it. In the multitude of counselors, there's safety. Ask specialists if there's something that has to do with, a situation. Ask others that have experienced it. Do your research again. And most ultimately, ask for help vertically. Ask God. Once you speak to God, you have a way that God speaks to you. You have a relationship with Him, and you hear from Him. Even when it's not as smooth, you would have peace. And so today, I pray that the choices that we make give us peace in our lives and doesn't bring turbulence to us. I pray that the choices that you have made, that I have made, that have brought turbulence, that the Lord grants us solutions and ways to get out of them. Or amend. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next Let's Talk About It with Flaky. Thank you so much for being here one more time. Our reach is not big enough at all, and we desire. So please share with your friends. Put us on your pages. Whatever it is, just get the word out. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next month.